Hello there, my name is Sienna. Welcome to my channel. And here I like to talk about dating and relationship advice. And I have dated every type of guy so that you don't have to. Today we are going to be talking about another story that I found on Reddit. This one is more wedding oriented, which is exciting because I just got engaged, so I am currently in the process of planning my wedding, and I have had a issue very similar to this one, so let's get into it. The story is called I Just Learned That I'm Not Invited to a Wedding That My Partner Is. So they say, basically, my partner and I have been together for 4 years, and are probably one of the few long-term couples in our friend groups. In his original friend group, he introduced me to another couple, and we've all spent a decent amount of time together, especially because we live 10 minutes apart, and we've lived there for 2 years. During COVID, the other couple got engaged, and I was at their house a lot when they would be talking about the engagement and the upcoming wedding, which they would be having in summer 2023. My partner is technically in the bridal party, despite being a guy, and he was even invited to the hen. Oh, I don't know what that is. I think it's like the British version of a bachelorette party, I'm assuming. It says hen do. Hen do? Not sure. Okay. Although he couldn't take the time off work. An initial email was sent about the wedding last summer that mostly ended up in people's spam, so my partner forwarded the invite to me. I asked him to double check whether I was invited, but he seemed pretty convinced I obviously was and forgot to formally check. Yeah. You can never. Man, I've found you can never rely on men to actually check that sort of stuff. They never want to. Um, anyway, get to this week, the bride has sent out another email that my partner got about the accommodation for the wedding, which will be in Scotland while we live in London. Okay, I was right, it is a British thing. Okay. He has been invited to stay at this house with the main couple and their close friends slash family for the wedding weekend. He texted her to check whether I could stay in his room, but she said that there were no plus ones because it is a small building and he'd be sharing his room with 2 other friends. My partner didn't want me to be alone, so we immediately looked into getting an Airbnb nearby and booked that instead. When he then went to let the bride know, he found out that I'm actually not even invited to the wedding at all. Honestly, I'm so shocked and hurt by this because although I'm not best friends with the couple, we are on great terms and have only ever had good times together. My partner is also one of the bride's good friends, and yet she isn't allowing him to bring a plus one. It's just so weird. I spent like 2 years thinking I'm going to this fun Scotland wedding with a ton of friends and my partner, only to find out this was never the case. Which, yeah, that's really rough, dude. Like, oof. It really does sound from like this woman's perspective that she was good friends with this couple, and to be picked out in such a way, like if you're hanging out on regular occasions, like all the time, you would think that you're good friends, even if it's just because you live near each other. I don't know, it would just be really weird to just say one day, oh, you know what, let's invite that guy we hang out with all the time that's our next door neighbor, but let's make sure not to invite his girlfriend or wife or whatever she was. Like, that feels very purposeful, and it makes me wonder why exactly that is. And if it really was because, like, it's a small, intimate wedding, why didn't the bride or groom say, hey, I know this sucks, but we can only have 20 people, and obviously our family needs to be there first, and we had to pick just our closest friends, and your husband was one of them. That should be the first thing done if this is like a legitimate, like, we can't physically have you there or whatever. We can't afford it. We can't, whatever the case is. I do feel like there's a little bit of blame to be put on the OP's partner, just because, like I said, it's so frustrating when partners don't check, especially when they're closer to the person in charge of the event. I've definitely had partners where I've been like, hey, can you make sure that I don't need to bring anything to this trip? or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll make sure. They never do. They forget, or they put it off until they forget whatever or they don't want to because they don't want to cause trouble, even though it's no trouble. And then I never find out, you know. Like I remember I had this one boyfriend who all the time his family would have like a dinner night with just a big group of the family, and I would tell him, "Hey, let me know the next time that's happening so I can make plans or make sure I don't have plans and then I can go." And he wouldn't, and I would ask, "Don't make it last minute. Like I need to know the day before at the very least." And he would never ever tell me. And then like an hour before, he'd be like, "Oh, hey, my family's having dinner and they want you to come. They want to see you." And I'd be like, "Well, dude, you didn't tell me. Like I can't make it in time. I've got other things going on." And then the family would, you know, be like, "Where is she? Does she not want to be around us? Does she not want to hang out with us?" And my boyfriend would tell him, "Yeah, she didn't feel like coming up." He was like such an asshole about it. Like, he would tell me after the fact, dude, he'd be like, "Yeah, my family's mad at you for not coming." And I'm like, "Dude, you're the reason I'm not coming. Like, you're the reason I'm not showing up to these events. I want to be there. I just can't make it in time when you only give me such short notice." But yeah, the reason I wanted to look into this story is because I'm actually in a very similar situation where, so I just got engaged and I just put out my engagement announcements, and we just picked the wedding date and the venue and everything. And I've been picking my bridesmaids, and I picked this friend like as soon as I got engaged. And you know, I was happy with that. We hadn't seen each other in a while, but it's one of those friends where you're like, oh, we're always going to be friends, no matter how long we go without talking or seeing each other. And the other day, I ran into a different friend's mom, and I was chatting with the mom, and she said, "Oh, are you going to your friend's wedding?" And I was like, wait a second. So this is the friend that I asked to be a bridesmaid. She's apparently getting married. And I didn't even know she had like a boyfriend or girlfriend. She hasn't told, like, we've been in communication, and she has not mentioned it at all. So I think I can safely assume I'm not invited. At the very least, I'm not going to be in the wedding party, but yeah, the wedding is before mine, and I'm already planning out all this stuff, so I imagine she's pretty far in her planning too. And if, you know, my other friend's mom knows about it and I don't, I think it's safe to assume she's been inviting people too, and I'm not invited. So now I'm in this weird spot where I'm like, do I uninvite her? Do I ghost her? Do I just not send her any of the details? I don't know. Do I invite her anyway? I just feel really, I don't know, icky about it, and so I still have to think about it a lot. So, I mean, I suppose there's always something in this story where it could be very similar, where maybe the couple wasn't invited to something and now they're enacting their revenge. I don't know. But no matter how you look at it, it's just kind of, yeah, it's icky. You're just like, why, what did I do and why aren't you communicating it to me? Or like, um, if you just don't like me anymore, well, why can't you be brave enough to just tell me, you know? Let's look at the top comments. Okay, so top comment is, I would love to know if everyone else in the bridal party are being required to leave their partners at home, which is also a very good point. Is no one getting a plus one? Because that was the excuse, right? If it's a very small venue and no one's getting a plus one, I can see it being a little more understandable and like a real excuse. And then next comment says, "You're not a plus one, you're an actual person they know. No wonder you're feeling hurt," which is fair. I would, like, I'm hurt about my wedding situation, so I'm sure this person feels crappy about this. And this person says, if me and my partner were in that situation, we wouldn't go. Bridal party or not, neither of us would allow a wedding to upset either one of us. Nah, if you're close to them, they invite you both, otherwise you're not close enough for either of you to go. Bridezilla at their finest, completely oblivious to other people's feelings. Which, yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's a great way to put it, is like, if your boyfriend, partner, whatever, is good to go, you should be too, and there's no reason to exclude you. So yeah, I would just say this is not the friendship for you. Best case scenario, confront them about it. Say, hey, can you tell me the real reason I'm not invited? Because I'm not buying the no plus one story. And if you can't, then neither of us are going. And do your best to make sure your partner is on your side no matter what you decide. Because if they're not willing to support you in this, and they choose the friends over you and like just this one wedding event, like as important as weddings are, choosing this one event over you says a lot. And then you'll have to reconsider aspects of that relationship. I'm not saying that's necessarily breakup worthy, but it's definitely like, we need to talk about some stuff. We need to figure some stuff out because that's not cool. But this wedding obviously already happened. This was an old story. I didn't see any updates from the OP. If I do, I will try and find them in post. And if anyone else finds them, let me know. But yeah, those are my thoughts so far. Yeah, and also if you have any advice for my wedding situation, because it's so much harder to give yourself advice rather than to give others advice, And, I know what I probably should do is like talk to her and say, hey, am I not invited to the wedding and why not? And then if she says no, then I can say, all right, well, that saves me some money. You don't have to be invited to mine either. Um, that's probably like the best option, but it's hard not to be petty, especially with wedding stuff. And it's hard not to just like ignore the situation and just ghost it. But I know I shouldn't. But let me know what you think in the comments if you feel like it. And if you don't feel like it, let's put a ghost emoji, because I think this will be coming out near Halloween, probably the week of, hopefully. And if it comes out after, then put your favorite plant emoji, just cause. Alright, thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!